Hey, back again with the next episode of this tutorial. This time we'll be going over Magic Circuit in as much detail as I can. Magic Circuit, which I will generally be referring to as meter for the rest of this video, is a resource that is required for EX Edge attacks, Arc Drive, Force Release, and Last Arcs. Virtually every interaction that occurs between players generates meter for both players, with a few exceptions. Neutralizing does not build meter, and EX edges do not build meter either. Furthermore, if an attacking player uses an EX edge in a combo and is able to continue the combo afterwards, the subsequent attacks generate significantly less meter than the attacks prior. Scoring hits on your opponent is easily the fastest way to build meter. Other actions, such as getting hit or blocking, usually generates either a small amount or a pretty negligible amount. Additionally, landing moon skills while on moon drive generates a lot of meter. The following non-interactive actions also generate meter. While you are under the effects of moon drive, you passively generate meter over time. This passive meter generation persists even if you are blocking or taking damage. Additionally, you can press down and A plus B to enter a charge state, which rapidly builds both meter and moon gauge at the cost of HP. This continues as long as you are holding down the AB buttons. All of the HP lost is recoverable, and therefore, the HP you lose can be restored. Additionally, you will only lose HP as long as you are actually gaining resources from the charge. So if your Magic Circuit and your Moon Gauge are fully maxed out, you will stay in the charge animation, but essentially nothing will happen. Even if you are at the last sliver of HP you have, using charge will still generate meter and Moon Gauge. Both players begin every match with 1 bar of Magic Circuit out of 3. If a player is on their last round before being defeated, they will awaken before the start of the match, granting them 1 bar of Magic Circuit for free, and increasing their max Magic Circuit by 1 bar, up to 4. Note that for 1-round matches, neither player will have the opportunity to awaken. In the event that the 1-round match results in a double KO or draws, that round will be replayed with neither player awakening. If the match draws again, then the game ends with no victor. There are several abilities only accessible while awakened, which will be discussed later in the video. Magic Circuit persists between rounds, but if you are in the heat state when the round ends, you will begin the next round with 0 meter. You do not get any meter back if you have leftover heat timer. Also, while this does not have any practical use, if you spend meter after knocking out the opponent due to input buffers, that meter is not actually used. This can be useful for styling on your opponent and making them feel terrible. The most common use for Magic Circuit is EX Edges. These are enhanced moves that cost 1 bar of meter to use and are executed by doing the special move input and pressing C. These EX Edge moves often serve a similar purpose to their A-B special move counterparts, but have significantly enhanced properties. When an EX Edge is used, the screen will freeze momentarily and a brief animation of the attacking character will play before the move is executed. You can also perform an Arc Drive, which costs 3 bars and is input with quarter circle forward B plus C universally. All Arc Drives deal 3500 damage and have a minimum scaling of 40%, which can be further scaled down by certain attacks. As a side note, due to the screen freeze properties of EX Edge, if you plan to use a reversal EX Edge, it may be prudent to consider using a non-metered version instead, if you have one. The pause caused by the screen freeze gives opponents an opportunity to respond to your attack in a way that non-metered reversals would not. When you have at least one bar of meter, you can perform a force release, which has you emit an unblockable but shieldable shockwave which knocks back an opponent that's nearby and puts you into a state called heat. Force release can also be performed while blocking as a sort of reversal option. However, it has a much slower startup when used in this way, so people who are seeing it coming can use a backdash or back off in order to bait it out. While you are in heat, you deal 10% increased damage. Also, as long as you are not blocking or taking damage, you begin recovering your gray health. Additionally, the game clock freezes until your heat state ends. The duration of heat is dependent on the amount of meter you had when activating it. You can perform EX edges during heat, which consumes a portion of the remaining timer for it, as well as your arc drive, which consumes all of the remaining heat timer. You can arc drive during heat even if you entered the heat state with less than 3 bars of meter. As performing arc drive immediately ends the heat status, it does not benefit from any damage bonuses from heat. While awakened, aside from having an extra bar of meter to work with, you gain access to your last arc, which costs 4 bars of meter. Last arc can be done one of 2 ways. The first is to press A, B, C, and D all at the same time. This executes a rather slow and mid-blockable attack where, if hit, performs a very cinematic attack that always deals 4,500 damage. A small set of characters have the ability to combo into their last arc in this way, and like Arc Drive, it also has a minimum damage percentage of 40%. This attack is slow enough that opponents can be pressing A on your wake up and still block in time, so it is generally advised against attempting this as a reversal option unless you are very confident it will connect. The second method of performing your last arc is to enter Blood Heat, which is done by using Force Release while you have 4 bars of meter, and then successfully execute Shield on an attack. When last arc is done in this way, it deals variable damage depending on how much Blood Heat timer you had left when it was activated. When I attempted to EX Shield as close to the earliest possible moment, I was able to deal 6,960 damage. When performing last arc by shielding with nearly depleted Blood Heat gauge, it deals the usual 4,800 damage. As soon as the last arc is successfully performed, the attacking player's maximum magic circuit immediately drops back down to 3 bars for the rest of the match. If you attempt to last arc with the ABCD input and it fails, you maintain your maximum magic circuit of 4 bars. Blood Heat is functionally the same as heat in all other respects, except that you consume slightly less of the remaining heat duration when you use EX edges, and that you deal 20% more damage instead of 10% while Blood Heat is active. That concludes this overview of Magic Circuit. Get ready for the last main part of this tutorial where I'll be going over the Moon Gauge. As always, take care and good luck in your matches.